Welcome back to JD Outdoors. I hope you enjoyed the last video I dropped over at Lake Erling. That was, I'd say, a little bit pre-spawn, right on the edge of everything moving up. This video was, the water temperature had warmed up, gone from like 62 in the morning up to 68 by the time I left. And the fish were, you'll see on the video, but I think anywhere between 12 and 18 feet of water, the ones I was catching. But there were a lot of people fishing the banks and catching fish, you know, up around the grass. So I know the males are up on the bank. Didn't catch many males in this one. So anyway, spawn should be, you know, full on right now. So, you know, get over and catch you a few. Ended up catching a pretty good mess of fish that day. I don't think I had anything really over 2 pounds, but I had several bumping it. Caught everything on the hand-tied black and chartreuse jig that I showed in the last video, and I'll probably put a screenshot of it here for you to see. But it's just a simple black and chartreuse 1/16 jig head, hand-tied, and you know, if you could get in front of them, and if they were on timber, you pretty much were gonna catch them. So with that said, I just want to take a moment and give a shout out to my friends over at Country Village Sporting Goods. Following this video, and I'll probably show you here as I'm talking, but I had to do a little trolling motor maintenance and ordered some bushings from Dominic over there, and just, you know, got me to thinking those guys have taken care of me, you know, ever since I've had a boat, I guess, and have been using them. Everything from, you know, lower unit repair to trolling motor repair or help on electronics. You know, they've got a full service center pretty much to take care of all your boating needs. And that's something that if we don't have that around here, you know, many people that like to hunt and fish, you're in trouble. So, you know, go out there and give those guys a chance to earn your business. They also carry any supplies, hunting, fishing, camping, boating. It's great to have them in the area. You know, between them and Sportsman's One Stop, we have a really good thing going here. So support your local businesses, even if it costs $1 more. You got to remember, these are the guys that support our local youth. They give to the Union County Bass Club Youth Tournament every year. They help with the school functions. They're a part of our community, and we're getting back a lot more than we're putting in. Even if the pricing is a little higher than what you could order from Amazon, at least you're supporting local families and local community. So keep that in mind next time you get ready to buy something. And you know, without further ado, let's get to catching some crappie. This didn't quite start out the way I had planned. I was having to weed through about 10 little bitty ones to even catch a keeper. And by little, I mean they were all under the 10-inch minimum limit. And it took me a little bit, but I finally got some fish that were worth making a video on, so bear with me and let's get to the Livescope now. This was my first keeper of the day. He was probably around 11 and a half inch fish. He sure looked bigger on that Livescope than he was. You can hear the wind blowing pretty good. It was supposed to be light and variable, and the wind was pretty tough this morning, but not too bad. But here's a few crappie on some structure on the bottom here. One sitting up is the one that come after it. There's one sitting on the very tip top of this snag here. I bring it over and then I kind of have to drift back to him. but he eventually does hit it. That fish kind of looked a little bit better at first, but when he did his little run around and back to the bait, I knew it wasn't a very big one. You can see him leave here and then turn back around and come back. I thought I was done catching baby fish, but there were still a few throughout the day. Like I've said before, never pass up a chance to fish for a knot on a log, because eventually it could turn into a crappie, as you can watch happen here. Another classic crappie on a tree. And if they were on structure today, they seem to be pretty active. Well, this bush here has more than one crappie on it. Let's see if we can make it pay out. There's one. All right, let's drop back down there real quick, see if we can make it two. And here comes number two. There's a nice looking crappie sitting under a leaning log. You can see he's interested in it. I think I about got hung up on the log, but I pulled free and he chased it out. I love how he stages right under it to hit it. Turns out to be about 1 3/4 pound, big old black crappie. As the day goes on, the crappie seem to be getting a little bit better in size, and this one was no exception. Not sure if it was the crappie fishing or the weather, but I had to come out of that long sleeve shirt. You ever see what looks like a bush down there that's on fire? Just drop your jig in there. Sometimes want to come out of it. Another slab follows that thing away from the tree. Kind of finicky, but he finally commit. There's a couple here, and one of them is an aggressive little fella. Y'all remember what I was telling you about knots on logs and knots on sticks? You gotta give them a try. Here's one floating just off the bottom, and I'm drifting just right, being quiet, and you can see the fish acts a little bit shy. He sees the bait right here, and then it starts to go down, and I just followed him down with the bait, and finally he hit it. You know what I've been saying about knots on a log? Here we go again. This knot ends up weighing about 2 pounds. Way out there about 25 feet, and you can see I drop it over his head, and he turns, looks at it, starts drifting past him, and he chases it down. Man, I love catching them like that. I've got to learn how to cast with a spinning rod so I can start fishing a little further out. I do okay with the long pole, but man, it would be fun to get them on that ultralight too. When you look down and you see one like this, all I can think is don't screw it up. Looks like a really good fish, and if you can get that bait on him, it's usually money. There's another floater out there a little ways out, just swinging it over his head. Yeah, it's that time of day, man. That's what they do over here. You can see a couple crappie sitting out there, and I pitch past them, and I'm using my rod tip to control how fast and how far it falls. I can actually manipulate that bait and slow it way down and give them enough time to hit it, and it worked out perfect. It looks like there may be some activity on this tree. Even though you may not always see the fish real clear, always check out the structure, because sometimes they'll come off of it out of nowhere. Upon further inspection, there's another fish on the same top. It's a little more clear right here, so I'm going after him too. I saw one hanging on the side of this tree, but then glanced past him and there's another pretty good looking fish at 20 feet out, so I went after him instead. As I'm moving along, I see this stump. I don't really see anything on it, but might as well try it, see what happens. Wasn't much to him, but hey, it was a fish. Still looking. Caught that one, threw him back, glanced around on the Livescope, see what else might be out there. Hey, what's that? Check out that tree right there. There's a knot about 3 foot off the bottom. Gotta check him out. It's definitely a fish, and he seems a little bit interested, not super aggressive. You can see he'll come out and, like he's gonna hit it, and I thought for a minute that surely this one's, gonna hit it, and then when he didn't, I was about to move on, and he made one more move at it, so I hung on, and finally the sucker turns on the bait and decides he'll taste of it, and it's on. Here's a pretty exciting tree right here. Got a good fish up top and one at the bottom. I'm gonna try the top one first and see if he's interested. And I really don't get any reaction. And you can see I got some waves coming, and I thought, well, I better drop down before my boat starts splashing too bad and give that other one a shot before they get out of there. So I just dropped my line down, and you can see that fish. My line's actually behind that tree to you. But you can see there's my bait. So we're giving that bottom one a shot, and I'm thinking these waves have ruined it. But sure enough, he turns and hits it. Another good looking crappie kind of floating, swimming towards us from one tree to the other, and he kind of stops between them and gives me the opportunity that I need to drop on him, and he can't resist it. Here's another football floating out there about 15 feet away, and I just love this. There's one down here on a piece of structure that, just as soon as it gets to him, he turns, hits it. Fish are on fire right now. If you see them, you're pretty much gonna catch them. I'm gonna let y'all in on a little secret. If you stayed and watched the video this far, you'll notice that I haven't fished around a lot of standing structure. You might see a couple of stumps here and there that I fished around, but the tall trees and things like that, a lot of fishermen will just, kind of migrate towards those areas because it's visible structure. The area where I fished today was just kind of just a wide open flat, and a lot of the fish, I don't know, in my mind they were a little more undisturbed maybe, because it just looked like open water. There was structure underneath there, but you had to search a little further for it. So I would take my Livescope and zoom out to like 50, 60 feet and find the structure that was not visible on the top. And most everything that I looked at that was kind of a, I guess, an underwater structure, completely underwater, had fish on it. Maybe not so much a lot of the visible stuff, because I feel like it gets picked over pretty good. Okay, let's catch one more and see if we can call it a day. I've had a really good time. Lake Erling has been good to us, and the Lord has blessed us with a perfect day. I mean, it started out cool. I had a jacket or a long sleeve on and went to short sleeve, and the wind died down and the fish were biting. You can't ask for anything better than that. And this is a good one to stop on. Hey, if you like my videos and want to continue to get notified, see new content, please hit that subscribe button and tell your buddies about it. I appreciate you watching.